Hello and welcome back to Crypto Saving Experts, where we talk about the latest cryptocurrency news and take a look at the markets so that we all know exactly what is happening. My name is Jess. We do these live streams every single weekday. We are back here in the studio today so we can take a look at what's going on with the cryptocurrency news, and we'll take a look at the price of Bitcoin this morning. So first of all, let's pull this up. Bitcoin is up another 1.13% within the last 24 hours, and Ethereum is up nicely as well by 0.55%. So we are seeing Bitcoin ranging to the upper side of the current price range. Very nice to see. In my opinion, we haven't broken any major levels of resistance at this point in time, but we're seeing some positive price action nevertheless. Let's see in the chat. Good morning, Jason. Good morning, JB. Thank you very much for tuning in. As always, please don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell notification button. In terms of altcoins within the last 24 hours, I'm very surprised to see this morning that Axie Infinity is up 12%, Rune is up 8%, Bitcoin Cash up 8%. So we are seeing some big movers there. We can see some losers here as well. ApeCoin, that has not performed well during the bear market. A lot of the NFT related projects have not performed very well here. FTT also seeing a move to the downside of 3.3%. Again, as expected, FTT is the token from FTX. FTX are looking to liquidate some of their cryptocurrency, and therefore it's not looking too positive for FTT holders there. So understandable why we are seeing a little bit of a dip there. Let's check in with the chat. Jason said, hope you enjoyed your holiday. I did very much. I only went for a week, but it was very nice to get away, sit in the sunshine for a while, because it has been very rainy here in England. So it's been very nice to get out and just do something different for a couple of days. I wish I could have come back to more positive news in terms of cryptocurrency. Coming back to all of this Binance FUD wasn't exactly what I had planned, but Bitcoin is up nevertheless. So we've got to be happy about that. And as I said a couple of streams ago, I managed to buy in at $25,100. So I'm very happy with that buying level right now. And as I was saying at the time, with my current portfolio, whenever we see a dip, I want to take advantage of it. So I'm glad I did. Even if we go lower than that, I'm glad that I took advantage of it when I could. Let's see what else is going on in the cryptocurrency news this morning. We've got quite a lot of stories to tell here. FTT is a token for the FTX exchange. FTT was the token that if you held, you get discounts on transaction fees and things like that on the centralized exchange. Its real utility was inside the FTX platform. Let's take a look at what's going on here. So first of all, we are seeing more exits from Binance US. Now, Binance US obviously had a lawsuit against them from the SEC earlier this year. So did Coinbase, but Binance's was a little bit more in detail. Now, the SEC have been asking for a lot of documents off Binance. Binance have been saying you're overstepping the line, you're asking for too much. And the SEC have said, no, we want all of this information. We want to know what's really going on behind the scenes in Binance.us. So we've seen a little bit of a debate there, but whilst this is happening, we have seen some key executives at Binance US leaving the platform and quitting their jobs there. So we can see the CEO of Binance US has quit. And we've seen redundancies of a third of Binance US's workforce. Now, following this, we've seen two more high-ranking executives quitting as well, exiting the company. So we're seeing the head of legal and the chief risk officer here leaving Binance US. Now, they've left their positions at the company. They joined back in May 2022 and December 2021, respectively. And they've previously worked at Intel's chief compliance officer and other big businesses there, but they have now chose to leave. Now, this is following Binance US facing allegations of non-cooperation in the investigation by the US SEC Commission in court documents released on Thursday. So we're seeing a lot of accusations from the SEC wanting as much more detail as possible, Binance US trying to kind of put a limit on how much information they give to the SEC, because it's a lot of work to get all of that information together. But now we're seeing key executives leaving the platform. This is spreading a huge amount of FUD. I'd be interested to know the price of BNB right now. How is that performing? BNB is up 0.42% within the last 24 hours, trading at $212. It is really retesting that level of support here. We don't have many levels of support below the $180 level for Binance Coin, because it didn't this is the first point in which it traded in these ranges, and it went up so quickly that we didn't build many levels of support and resistance within this price range. So here We are really at a crucial level for BNB now, BNB being the token for Binance, a centralized exchange, and it has other utility out of the exchange, but if you hold it, you did get transaction fee discounts and all the rest of it. So we are seeing some negativity here, some concerns here. We did read an article in yesterday's stream where we discussed what would happen if Binance US had to shut down. There's a lot of fears about this, Bitcoin going to zero, a huge crash in the cryptocurrency market. I do think this would have a very negative impact on the price of cryptocurrency. Do I think it's likely? I hope not, but I'm being very cautious right now. I'm not holding any funds on Binance because the future seems a little bit more uncertain than we would like it to be. So obviously, I think we will be able to get through any turbulence that Binance US could create, and hopefully we can continue to move forward. With that bull market looming, with that Bitcoin halving looming, it would be a really real shame to see something as detrimental as this, as Binance collapsing at this point in time. So I really hope it is not the case, and I really hope that they can continue building and helping to develop the space, and all of this FUD is just FUD. We have seen over and over again, every time the price of cryptocurrency dumps, every time the price of Bitcoin is low, Binance does receive a huge amount of FUD. So let's hope this is just another piece of FUD and we can push through this period of time. But it's seeming a little bit uncertain right now what's really going on. Let's see what else is going on in the cryptocurrency news here. So we have Paxos have been declared as the wallet owner of the 19.82 Bitcoin transaction fee. So somebody spent 19.82 Bitcoin sending about $200 worth of Bitcoin earlier last week. Now, we have heard that this was Paxos. This is the company that was responsible for minting BUSD. So they minted BUSD on behalf of Binance, and they are now actually the issuers of PYUSD, the stablecoin from PayPal. But we are seeing here they are responsible for this. Now, thankfully, we did actually see the people who confirmed and broadcast this transaction held on to this transaction fee, and it said if the people that paid this transaction fee reach out within the next 3 days, we will refund that transaction fee, and if not, we will distribute it between our miners. We can see here that a representative of the company told Coinbase Paxos overpaid the Bitcoin network fee on September the 10th. This only impacted Paxos corporate operations. Paxos clients and end users have not been affected, and all customer funds are safe. This was due to a bug on a single transfer and has been fixed. Paxos is in contact with the miner to recoup the funds. So thankfully, they should be getting those funds back. And continuing forwards, so on Thursday they said, I was annoyed and regretted to refund that 20 Bitcoin, especially when I saw the person claiming it kept saying EST instead of EDT, UTC. Last time a Zcash guy did that, I blocked his entire company. Suchun then provided a poll underneath his comments with the following options. So they could refund 20 Bitcoin to Paxos, they could distribute it to miners, or they could split it between the miners and Paxos, the company that made the mistake, or they could completely just freeze the funds. Now, I'm happy to hear this wasn't a single individual. To have a single individual spending 20 Bitcoin on a transaction fee would be absolutely the awful situation to be in. So I'm happy to see this as Paxos. And we do now have the options to what to do with these funds is now completely up to the Bitcoin miners. The Bitcoin miners have been paid that transaction fee. Now, out of goodwill, they could choose to send it back to Paxos, or they could choose to, as I say, do a 50-50, or they could just distribute it to the miners there as well. So that all the options are there. We'll see how that plays out. Let's continue on to the next article here. Coinbase CEO urges DeFi protocols to challenge CFTC charges in court. So Brian Armstrong, the CEO of leading cryptocurrency exchange Coinbase, believes DeFi protocols are beyond the Commodity Futures and Exchange Commission's mandate. So what we are seeing here is, again, the difficulty to understand who should regulate cryptocurrency and how we can clearly understand that. We've seen this with the SEC, who regulates securities. They've been trying to regulate the cryptocurrency space, but many projects are saying, you're regulating us, but we're not actually a security, so you shouldn't be. Now we're seeing the same with DeFi and CFTC. The CFTC regulates commodities, and Brian Armstrong is saying DeFi protocols should stand up for themselves and say, no, the CFTC should not be regulating us either, because we do not classify it as a commodity. And this all comes down to the same problem we have over and over again, which is we need clear guidelines in the US to help determine which category a cryptocurrency asset falls into so that it can be correctly regulated. We can't have overlapping regulatory bodies trying to regulate the cryptocurrency space all at once, and we can't have that lack of clarity where projects are trying to understand all of these unclear regulations when the regulators can just fire a gun at them at any second. It's just very, very unclear in the US. As always, we are seeing these problems. And we are seeing Brian Armstrong trying to step back and get back at the regulators and get some understanding here. They've been fighting for understanding here for a very long time. Still not something we're getting. I don't think we're going to get this for a while, and that is going to continue to cause problems, unfortunately. And this is why I do believe, as we were saying in the community Discord this morning, Asia will probably lead the next bull market, because the problems with regulation in the UK, in the US, just makes it not feasible to grow cryptocurrency projects in the Western world. Let's see what else is going on in the cryptocurrency news here. So Bybit is likely to leave the UK in wake of new FCA rules. So there's new regulations coming into the UK on the 8th of October, and with that, Bybit are looking at this and saying the easiest way we can get around this regulation is just to completely leave the region. And this is something we may continue to see with other centralized exchanges as well. So Bybit did originally launch primarily as a derivatives exchange. They have started to offer other options. They offer spot trading now, and they've got many different services on their platform. But what we are seeing here is they haven't really closed those ties with their derivative mission, and with that, it does go against some of the new regulation from the UK. Now, I would like to talk about this because we can see in this article, it's very interesting how this can be done here from the regulators, the FCA. So the FCA is implementing several new laws, some of which will significantly impact the crypto market in the UK. First, there must be a cooling off period for new investors, in which users will be forced to wait 24 hours after requesting a crypto purchase before the transaction is confirmed and finalized. Secondly, certain marketing ploys such as refer a friend bonuses will be banned, and new investors must complete a test to ensure they have sufficient knowledge of the markets. Crypto products must be accompanied by transparent risk warnings, and adverts must be clear, fair, and not misleading. So we can see here that the creator of Bybit, the CEO, the founder, has said FCA have explicitly contacted all the major players, us, OKX, Binance, everyone, and asked what our plan is to deal with this new law. And the new law is that if you use English as a language, they will see you as trying to solicit their users. So you cannot claim that you are in reverse solicitation. Everyone is in trouble. So everyone is thinking of plans of how to deal with this new law. And he went on to say that cutting ties with the UK market is the most likely strategy for Bybit. We can see here it's not just UK firms that are subject to these rules. Everyone with a website that can be accessed in the UK is subject to these requirements. So strict regulations coming in the UK within the next couple of months. Let's see what else is going on in the cryptocurrency news here. Ex-Mt. Gox CEO relives arrest in 2015. Now, Mt. Gox was a popular Bitcoin exchange back in the day. It was accountable for up to 70% of Bitcoin transactions at a certain point in time, and then one day it just went completely offline. Very spooky event here. We lost a lot of funds. The exchange reportedly got hacked. A lot of people lost a lot of money. People have been trying to reclaim their Bitcoin for a very long time. Some people still have not yet got access to their cryptocurrency. What I will do here is I will drop the link to this in today's live chat if you want to take a look at his accounts of what happened when he was arrested. We can see the stories here. So the Mt. Gox story is still ongoing to this day. Up to this year, the Bitcoin theft victims were still awaiting compensation, with the deadline for repayment applications passing this April just gone. So this is a long time coming. And scheduled applicants would begin receiving payouts by 31st of October this year. So it's fast approaching. But let's see what else is going on with the cryptocurrency news here. Dutch bank partners with Taurus to offer crypto custody and tokenization services. So a big win there. We have Polygon release first set of improvement proposals. Definitely positive news there. improvement of Polygon is something that we do need. We want to see developments of projects like this and continue to grow the space in the best way possible. What else do we have here? Genesis halts derivatives trading through GGC International for business reasons. So Genesis no longer offers trading services through its units. Genesis is a subsidiary of DCG, Digital Currency Group, and this is the company that had a bit of a squabble with Gemini cryptocurrency exchange from the Winklevoss twins later last year, because Genesis unfortunately had to file for Chapter 11 bankruptcy, and they had a big loan from Gemini, which was used to pay the Gemini interest for their staking users. Anyway, let's move on to the next article here. So USDC stablecoin goes live on Near protocol, launching on more platforms in the coming weeks as part of its marathon to launch for the Stable September movement. So USDC trying to grow there. It has lost a little bit of market share in the last couple of weeks, I believe. We can take a look at this. Let's take a look at this. USDC, let's see what we've got here. USDC market cap. Let's see if we've got here USDC market dominance here. So it did lose a huge percentage of its market dominance. Here we can see that it has fallen greatly since back in March this year. We've seen a massive move to the downside there. Let's continue on with today's news though and see what else is going on. 3 central banks are testing Swift CBDC interoperability solutions. Again, we are talking about central bank digital currencies and how they will be used across the world. We're seeing a lot of news on this at the moment, seeing how CBDCs can be developed, how they can be integrated into society. A lot of people are against these things. They are, at the end of the day, programmable money, which the government have control of. So you can see why a lot of people are against them. Let's see what else is going on here. We've got two positive stories here about Bitcoin and Ethereum. So Ethereum's merge to proof of stake has occurred 1 year ago. Now that year has gone incredibly quickly. So it was in September last year that Ethereum merged from proof of work to proof of stake, a decision that maybe not all of us agree with, but it happened nevertheless. And we can see here that it has now been a year, and what's happened since that year, within that year we should say. So the proof of stake chains use considerably less energy than proof of work chains, and you can see here that we are using 99.99% less energy than the first year of Ethereum. So a massive win there in terms of annual energy consumption. We can see that the chart shows that the network's energy usage has plummeted year on year, but has notably reduced by approximately 90% post-merge. So we are seeing here that the Ethereum development team still has a lot of work to do. We did actually hear just a couple of weeks ago Vitalik Buterin, one of the most famous founders of Ethereum, saying about the issues with centralization and that these issues could take 20 years to fix. We do have a few concerns with Ethereum and the future of Ethereum. Obviously, nothing is perfect. This is a massive project. We are working on it. They are working on this massively. The merge was a big deal, and although it may have solved some problems in terms of energy consumption, it may have raised other concerns that now need to be dealt with. That can't happen overnight. So we are going to see a continued development of the Ethereum network within the next couple of years. But one benefit we have seen, is something we were actually talking about in yesterday's stream, is Binance's green energy consumption has risen to over 50% according to the Bitcoin, let's see what this Bloomberg reports. So Bitcoin's energy consumption now uses over 50% of renewable energy. So the Bitcoin energy narrative is flipping according to Jamie Counts. We can see here Bitcoin has long been the victim of media attacks regarding its energy usage. Now I see this firsthand when I tell people I'm in cryptocurrency, I like Bitcoin. A lot of people say, oh, but what about the impact on the environment? And it seems to be people that don't usually care about the impact on the environment. They just seem to be using it as an excuse. But I like to see that this may no longer be an issue for the cryptocurrency space. Obviously, none of us want to be having a massive negative impact on the environment here. So we are seeing that using renewable energy is a massive win for us, and it just gives us an extra leg to stand on. So that's a big win there. We can see here since China's mining ban in mid-21, when emissions peaked at 60.9 megatons of carbon dioxide equivalent, emissions have declined 37.5%. We can see here that energy sources from the renewables were over 50%, falling emissions plus a dramatically rising hash rate can only mean one thing. Bitcoin mining is consuming more sustainable energy in its mix. So a big win there for the cryptocurrency space. Tesla to restart Bitcoin payments. Now, we did actually discuss this. So what's happening here is, but Tesla accepted Bitcoin as a payment method for their cars back in 2021, and that caused a huge move to the upside for the price of Bitcoin. A lot of people were very excited. This was when Elon Musk was first saying, look, I've got an interesting cryptocurrency, and he was first talking about Doge. This was all within that hype there, but Tesla unfortunately had to stop accepting Bitcoin as a means of payment because of the impact it has on the environment, and it doesn't really match up with Tesla's goals or morals, essentially. But Elon Musk has announced that he did say at the time that this isn't the end of the road. He said, we intend to use it for transactions as soon as mining transactions to more sustainable energy, transitions to more sustainable energy. So if this shift continues and we continue to see that shift towards more sustainable energy, companies like Tesla may be able to pick up these schemes once again and accept Bitcoin as transactions, as a means of payment for their products. So that would be a big win. We did see the impact that it had on the price of Bitcoin last time, so it would be really great to see that again, and with other companies as well. Let's see what's going on with the price of Bitcoin now, though. Let's pull this up quickly. It is Friday. Happy Friday, by the way. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell notification button. What we are going to do right now is take a look at the price of Bitcoin. We have a level of support which is being built here. So let me pull this out. This is from between the $24,750 level to the $25,150 level. We've used it as a level of resistance twice. We've used it as a level of support twice. We seem to be getting pretty strong bounces off this right now, so that's making me feel a little bit better about where we are right now. But in the last week, we have again not broken any major levels of support or resistance, so we're still within this sideways action phase, waiting to see which direction we're going to move into. We did see some increase in inflation in the US this week, which caused some volatility, but we are right now in a pretty nice price, $26,500. We've seen a lot worse. Let's see what's going on with the CME gap. So what we are going to look at here is BTC1 exclamation mark. So do we have any open CME gaps right now? We have a couple to be aware of. So we've got one down here at $20,360, and we've got one up here at $35,260. This is the CME chart, the Chicago Mercantile Exchange. The exchange that is operational every Monday to Friday, closes on a Friday, leaves a gap in the markets. That gap acts like a magnet for the Bitcoin price until that gap is filled. Now, to fill a gap, we need to see price action within the price range. So that's what I'm saying. We have those magnets at 20,360 and 35,260. We could well be creating another CME gap this weekend as well. So just keep your eyes on that. Keep them peeled. There's a high probability every week that we are closing that CME gap very soon after it has been created. And a lot of people do choose to trade those gaps as well. So I like to keep an eye on them, and it gives a nice indication of what way we could be heading for the following week. We will be discussing that on Monday's stream as well, though, so make sure to stay tuned till then. What I want to show you before we close off today's stream is CSE Plus has gone live. If you are not yet a CSE Plus member, make sure to check out CryptoSavingExpert.com. I will drop the link to this in today's chat. If you sign up to the annual subscriptions on here, let me zoom out. I like to zoom really far into the website. You can see you get £75 CSE merch store gift card with Community Plus membership, and you get a £125 CSE merch store gift card if you sign up to the premium membership. And that means you get access to some of our merch. So you can use your merch store gift cards to go to our merch store, which has not yet launched, but I wanted to show you some of the merch today. So we've got Bitcoin logo socks, and they will be live very, very soon. Another thing that we've pulled together, I'm going to show you this actually for the first time here today. Let me plug this in because I've put this all together this morning and it looks very, very nice. This is the LED Bitcoin light that will be available on the CSE merch store as soon as we go live. This is going to go somewhere behind me on these black boards. I don't know if you can see this yet because there's such a delay in the filming streaming here. So this is what it's going to look like. It doesn't look as good on camera as it does in real life yet, because I think I've got too many lights around me. So many lights around me. But this will be available in the CSE merch store, and this is, you can get some merch store gift cards if you sign up to the website there as well. We also have a new product here. I'm going to show you it. It's time to show you it. So this is something that we haven't actually found anywhere else in the markets, and this is our wax melt. So you can buy a wax melt on the CSE merch store, but there's a little twist here because these will be good for gifts and Christmas time, I think. You can get Bitcoin logo wax melts to go in them. So that's what you can put at the top, and they smell so good, and we've got a range of scents there as well. So just there's so many different things on the CSE merch store. I've been testing out all the products. I went to the office last week, picked a load of products up, and I've just been using them all week, taking advantage of those freebies that I get from CSE Plus. I've been a tester of all that merch, and it all is very good, and it smells lovely. So that's all we really have for today's stream. Make sure to check out CSE Plus if you have not already. Make sure to be very excited for the CSE merch store coming very soon. That's all we have for today. Thank you